welcome to Gaming News with Spoons, and welcome to the new setup for Gaming News with Spoons. Today on the channel, we've got quite a bit of news to go ahead and get through, so let's go ahead and hop into it and talk about something that really excited me when I heard about this, and this is Persona Q2 is getting a Western release. This will be coming outside of Japan. This was the follow-up to Persona Q on the Nintendo 3DS, and a game that I was hoping that would come over. Persona Q2 pits us in the hands of the characters from Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5 as they all work together to take on an oncoming threat. The game isn't what you'd expect from a Persona game. If you're going into it thinking you're going to get something like Persona 5, you are going to be disappointed. This game is more or less a dungeon crawling game where you have the characters who explore the depth of these dungeons. There's no social links, there's nothing of that sort. So if you enjoyed that aspect of it and you didn't, and you enjoyed that more than the RPG aspects of the game, this probably is a game that you're going to want to pass on. However, if you're looking for an RPG experience that focuses more on the RPG side, Persona Q2 is a game you are going to want to check out. Our next bit of news is some more updates about Ys, or the Ys franchise. And Ys 4 Memories of Celceta is getting remastered to the PlayStation 4. As of right now, it is coming out May 16th in Japan, with no word of a localization. Maybe we'll see NIS America or XC Games release this game overseas, as XC Games did handle the ports for the PlayStation Vita as well as the PC port that we have on Steam. I would personally like to see this game get brought over to the PlayStation 4. Ys 4 is of course a remake of the original Ys 4. This one was developed by Nihon Falcom themselves and not outsourced like the original game was. So Memories of Celceta is the canon version within the Ys chronology. Next up, guys, Catherine Full Body is coming out September 13th of 2019 worldwide. So Europe and North America are going to be able to get a chance to play this game. Now, it is worth mentioning that this game is going to be only for the PlayStation 4 released over here. The PlayStation Vita version isn't going to be coming over. But Catherine Full Body is going to have more content, a brand new character named Catherine, or Rin, spelt with QU, and it's just overall a game that I'm really excited about. Catherine on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 was a wonderful game, and I'm glad that Atlas is giving fans a chance to revisit this and give it another chance to shine, because it really does deserve it. Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition is coming over to the Western audience again this year. Now, Dragon Quest XI, this is a game I want more people to play. This was one of my favorite games from last year, one of my favorite RPGs from this year, and this generation alone. It's just an amazing game. This game deserves more love than what it's getting. So if you passed upon it on the PlayStation 4, go ahead and pick this version up. This is going to add more character stories, more side stories for what I'm assuming is the characters. We're going to be able to switch to the 8-bit fields and get that 2D look. If that's something you're wanting to get in there and do, this is going to have the orchestrated version rather than the MIDI files that the PS4 version had. This is overall the complete package. For those of you who prefer the Japanese dialogue of the games, it is going to have that fully featured in there as well. So guys, if you haven't picked up this game, pick it up on a Nintendo Switch, because Dragon Quest XI deserves far more love than what it is actually getting. And it's a game I want to be able to see do well, because it is such a good game. Astral Chain is another game that we got to see during Nintendo Direct this week, and Astral Chain is being developed by Platinum Games. Platinum Games really seems to be on fire, with them working on Grand Blue Fantasy, as well as Babylon AD with Square Enix, and on top of that, a Switch exclusive game of Astral Chain and Bayonetta. I'm very curious to see what this game is, but this game looks to be really, really fun. I really like the way that the action combat looks. The music sounds amazing. The visual style is something that I find really appealing. I don't know why, but I almost get like a Xenosaga vibe from this. Just the anime style in of itself. Meets cyberpunk kind of style-esque. Gundam meets cyberpunk's the best way I can kind of take a look and explain this, but this is a game that I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do with it. Platinum Games, aside from a few hiccups, which I don't know why people almost have to bring those up, have had a really great track record, and I really look forward to seeing what they are able to do. Deltarune is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch on February 28th. For those of you who do not know, Deltarune is created by the same creator of Undertale, Toby Fox. This was a game that he released for free on PC and said this was a game that he would develop through. It seems like this game is going to be structured episodic. Though it does not take place in the same area as Undertale does, it seems to have a lot of that same vibe with its art styles and setting that the original had. This is a game I probably will check out on the Nintendo Switch, as I haven't been able to get it on the PC, so I'll probably just wait for the Nintendo Switch version to check out and play that, because Undertale is a very fun game and I really did enjoy it. Link's Awakening, guys, got a remake announced with a Nintendo Direct. Honestly, we heard people talking about it, that this might have been a possibility. Nintendo has been kind of known to do this with some of their other games, but this does seem to be getting a fresh coat of paint. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the artwork here that we are seeing, but I'm glad that this game is getting another chance. This was a game that many kids in my era grew up playing on the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color, so it is nice to see this get a fresh coat of paint. The art style, as I said, Link, I'm not a big fan of what he looks like, or the monster design, but the world design definitely looks very appealing, and it does look pretty cool getting that HD remake and being brought into modern generations. So I'm very curious to see more about this title. Next thing I want to talk about is something that I wasn't expecting to see happen, and this is Ni no Kuni getting a movie based in the franchise. Now, I loved the original Ni no Kuni. I thought that was one of the best games from last generation. It's probably my favorite game from last generation. And I was very disappointed with Revenant Kingdom. It wasn't a bad game, but it definitely didn't live up to the hype that I had surrounding it. But it's still a franchise that I'm very passionate about, and I do hope they continue it. And it seems like Level 5 is taking that stride because they are making an animated version of this movie. We did get some concept art that had come around. It is going to be a separate movie from the games, but still take place in that world. This news has me super excited because, as I said, I loved the game. I really want to see more from this world, and it has the Studio Ghibli art style, since it has a lot of the same animators that work on Studio Ghibli films. I can't wait to see what Level 5 is able to bring to this film, and I really hope it turns out well. And last bit of news, guys, Baldur's Gate, Torment Planetscape, and Neverwinter Nights are coming to consoles this year, most notably the Nintendo Switch. If you were like me in the 90s, you didn't have a PC that you could really play games on, so you missed out on a lot of those wonderful classic PC RPGs such as Baldur's Gate and Torment Planetscape. These were all really great games that really kind of stapled the early RPG genre. So I'm glad to see these games are finally being able to come over to the console and be checked out. I really think I may take a look into these games finally and give them a shot, especially being able to play RPGs on the go. The Nintendo Switch is a perfect system to be able to do that. I honestly didn't see this really coming. This was quite a bit of a surprise, but I'm glad that the Nintendo Switch is getting so much support, because I feel like it's a console that has so much potential, even though it's still in its infancy stages. Guys, you have been watching Gaming with Spoons. Thank you so much for tuning in. Help me out with some gaming news. If there's something in the gaming news, or especially JRPG or Japanese games, tweet me out on Twitter and hashtag it in Gaming News with Spoons, and we'll feature it here on the channel. Most importantly, guys, stay happy, be happy, game happy. Spoons is checking out.